The top 10 films about alcoholics. Number 10, Bad Santa. The, this movie often gets a bad rap, but I consider it to be pretty solid. Though it's a comedy, the film doesn't really make light of the main character's alcoholic state. In the film, the main character, Willie, to, Willie T. Stokes, is a bitter, lonely alcoholic. Number 9, Strange Brew. When I was researching for this list, I kept running into this movie, and people really seem to love it. Here is a synopsis of the premise. The movie begins with two unemployed brothers, Bob and Doug McKinsey, are in a blind when they give are in a bind when they give away their father's beer money and then run out of beer. The brothers place a mouse in a beer bottle and in an attempt to get free Elsinore beer from the local beer store, but are told by the non no nonsense clerk. And number 8, Days of Wine and Roses. This is a classic cautionary tale. And Days of Wine and Roses is the quintessential piece of cinema for warning people of the dangers of alcoholism. It's often loaned from person to person in Alcoholics Anonymous meetings all over and is suggested viewing in many other programs designed for recovering alcoholics. Number 7, Order. I wouldn't say this film contains the most honest portrayal of alcoholic, but this list is not necessarily based on realism. In the movie, the late Dudley Moore plays Arthur, a 30-year-old alcoholic who will inherit $750 million if the complies with his family's demands and marries the woman of their choosing. Number 6, Leaving Las Vegas. This is film based on a semi-autobiographical novel of the same name and written by an alcoholic writer. It's easy to imagine why the best of these stories of alcoholism come straight from the source. Leaving Las Vegas begins with an introduction to Ben Sanderson, a late stage alcoholic who has hit rock bottom. Number 5, Under the Volcano. Under the Volcano is not necessarily an amazing film, but Albert Finney's subtle and scrupulous portrayal of alcoholic Geoffrey Firmin is unmatched in its ironically graceful stupor and is an itself amazing. Number 4, Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf? At the time of its release, Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf was considered a very controversial and progressive for a big Hollywood production because of its brazenness and vulgar language. Number 3, Factotum. Factotum is a film based on Charles Bukowski's novel of the same name. In the film, the main character, Hank Chinaski, based on real life alcoholic, is working toward becoming a writer and follows his own advice. Number 2, House of Sand and Fog. House of Sand and Fog doesn't revolve solely around alcoholism, but the obviously selfish nature of the main character is common and a damaging aspect of alcoholism in the film. Kathy Nicolo is a recovering drug addict and a current alcoholic living in a small house near the coast in Northern California. Last number one, barfly. The prize for barfly seems so universal. I felt as though it had to be number one. This is the second film on the list based on a Bukowski novel centered on his alter ego Henry Chinaski. The film focuses on the alcoholic life of Chinaski, who writes poetry and short stories, which he submits to literary magazines. So these are the top 10 films about alcoholics.